The American Federation of Teachers is urging asset management firms to review Tesla's current valuation on behalf of its union members. The letter citing mounting concerns about Tesla, led by Elon Musk, who also, of course, runs the Department of Government Efficiency, and the potential impact to pension funds. For more, we're bringing in Randi Weingarten, president of the American Federation of Teachers. Randi, really appreciate you joining us. You guys represent 1.8 million members, and you're saying to these asset management giants, the likes of BlackRock and Fidelity, that you're concerned about this. Have you ever written a letter like this about a specific stock before? It seems unusual, and I'm wondering what led to it.
So, if you actually had followed us, and you've had, Yahoo Finance has had me on before when we've written reports. A couple of months ago, we raised concerns about private equity, particularly what happened in terms of the Stewart bankruptcy. We're the second largest nurse union. Many years ago, to me it was probably only a couple of years ago, we raised concerns about some folks who were in the hedge fund business, because at the same time as they were trying to get the business of retirement systems, they were also trying to get rid of teacher retirement systems. So we've raised this when there are material issues that we think are going to affect the stock prices or the retirement assets of our members. And right now, so many of our members' retirement funds are basically invested 70-30, 70% in stocks, 30% in bonds. And there's tens of millions of dollars invested in Tesla stocks. And so what we're concerned about is that these asset managers are saying nothing because they're scared to say something about it. And, because they're scared of Elon Musk. So we're just basically saying to them, JP Morgan says, ooh, there's a real disconnect between the stock price and the value of the company, even though the stock price has now just gone down 20 some odd percent. Tens of millions of dollars are invested in Tesla by retirement systems. So we basically said, do your job, investment banks. Tell us what you think about these stock prices. Don't get cowed by the fact that Musk has a lot of power in this administration. Do your job, because we're really concerned about teacher retirement benefits and their assets.
Randi, I read your letter to BlackRock, and I just heard your pitch there. I'll be blunt, Randi. I'm still not clear what you're asking these asset managers to do. If you were talking to Larry Fink at BlackRock, and maybe you are talking to Larry, and you say, do your job, what does that mean?
Should we be divesting or not? Should we keep the stock? Or should we not keep the stock? I'm not an investment manager, and certainly I don't want to deal with this through a political lens. So I'm asking the experts, because frankly, if the stock all of a sudden goes down even more precipitously than it has, and tens of billions of dollars are invested in it, then how do you create the replacement income in terms of these retirement systems?
But Randi, surely you knew. Listen. Stocks are investments. They carry higher risk and potentially higher returns than other assets. You could have put your money to work in plain vanilla, right? Savings.
I know.
Right? You did it. You chose. And now it seems is the message you're surprised that stocks go up, but they also sometimes go down?
Oh, come on. Give me a break about that. We know that stocks go up and stocks go down. But when retirement proceeds are invested to the tune of 70% in equities, and tens of billions of dollars are invested in Tesla stock, and there's at least one analyst who says, hold on, there's a real disconnect here. I don't want to see a rerun of what happened in 2008 when all of a sudden those banks went under.
Well, Randi,
and that's what we're saying.
To be fair, let's cut through it for a minute here, because I don't think anybody thinks that Tesla is systemic in the way that the financial crisis that the banks are.
I don't know. Randi, there's an FT article today that said that that Rana Fahor wrote that said that my letter was justified. I don't know what the answer is.
It's not that the valuation, I mean, there are lots of companies in the S&P 500 whose valuation is probably over. Randy, this is the only one run by the guy who is cutting stuff at the Department of Education. Let's get to it here. Is that what this is about? Is that this guy has a lot of power? Here's a way to hit him where it hurts because you all believe he's doing damage to the American education system?
No. I mean, frankly, I think it's the opposite is true. I think that these asset managers are not doing their jobs because just like the other tech companies, just like most corporate, most corporations, they're taking a step back. I want them to do their jobs. And so frankly, whether it's, Tesla, whether it's Elon Musk, whether it's another big company, the issue for us is actually the opposite of what you're saying. You can't look at this work through a political lens. You have to look at it financially, and that's what we're doing.
Have you spoken to Larry Fink?
We spoke to people in his orbit.
And what do they have to say?
I haven't spoken to him yet. No, they're taking it. They've said to me they're taking seriously what we wrote. We're asking their opinion. They're the experts.
So, Randy, let me then ask a separate question. You're the experts on education, right, and on teachers and the work they do in this country. So separately then, what's happening with the Department of Education, the cuts that we are seeing, in particular to the research that the DOE does?
Look, we're just like both of you, just like every school teacher I know, you got to reject the binary. You have to be able to go on both tracks at the same time. And so we have actually sued Elon Musk and Doge because of what they've done in the Department of Education to essentially steal people's privacy and their assets. And we've gotten a temporary restraining order on that. But equally, if not more important, we are really concerned about the cuts to children's education that Donald Trump and others, including Project 2025, want to do. They want to take the basically $100 billion that goes to poor kids and disabled kids and for career tech ed and to kids who are trying to go to college for the first time in when maybe the first of their generation to go to college and they don't have the funding to do so. All of those things are basically federal dollars that go directly to kids and to schools. And so tomorrow, there are going to be actions all across America. I'm hearing we have close to 1,800 actions, maybe even more, to basically say, let's protect our kids. And don't take this money that goes to poor kids or disabled kids and use it for tax cuts. Or don't actually block grant it so it can go to vouchers. So we're doing all that at the same time. And we're also saying to Donald Trump and Linda McMahon, I assume she's going to be his ed secretary, don't take a wrecking ball to the education department. Make it more efficient. That's great. I mean, my union never wanted the education department in the first place. We wanted to keep it where it was. But don't take a wrecking ball to children's education.
Randi, thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Thank you.